Hello everybody, how you doing? Hello, a rating death's head. Hello, Mark, subscribing with Prime. Thank you so much for that. Hello, Norman. Hello, the real decoy. Sadly, my D&D game's starting, but I'll have to catch the VOD. Very fair, very fair. Hello, Mako and Marks. Lovely to see you. I am not used to seeing your name in green, Marks. And it also is very strange because it's green over in the chat, but it's red over on the actual screen. I don't know what causes that. But yes, we are here to do the long advertised and awaited story surgery. So how that works, why that's come up. So it seems to me, and it of course it depends on the person, because some people tend to write under the word limit, and some people write over, and some people write just to it. So of course it depends on the person. But I've heard quite a few people talk about what a struggle the word limit is, and there are times when I am like praising or critiquing a story in the stream and I say, well, I think that you could like add this thing in, and then the author, or not even the author, sometimes it's just someone else in the chat, is like, yeah, but the word limit though, and I'm kind of going, I think you could do it. I think you could, slide it in there. Hang on. Hi, kitty. So just from, that's, I tried having public domain music on my last stream and it was immediately muted. So, oh well. Oh no, I don't know about this. Did Twitch itself like mute it, or what happened? Anyway, so it seems to me like I might have an easier time cutting stories down than some other folks do. Oh, sneezy. Yeah, Twitch muted it. Gotcha. I use music from the Relaxed Movement on YouTube, and I literally just play it on my phone. And I don't think I've ever gotten any sort of muting or strike or anything like that. So you might want to check them out, because they specifically say, like in their description, like, hey, this music is for you to use like in your Twitch channels, in your YouTube and stuff like that. Nice. Anyway, so as I say, it seems like I might have an easier time cutting stories down than some people do, and so for quite a while now I have wanted to do a stream where I cut down stories live in front of the camera so that you guys can see my process, and hopefully it will help some people that maybe struggle with that to get a better idea of how to do that. Of course, now that I'm getting them in front of the camera, I'm like, oh gosh, what if I can't do it? What if I can't cut it down? I don't think we'll have that problem, but there goes my anxiety. I think I'm gonna turn off the Discord chat because I don't think anybody's gonna be chatting in there. Oops, I need to do it over here. So if somebody does chat over there, then just let me know and I can... Oh, I don't like that. Oh no, that's gross. Like black space in the corner. Never mind. So can you see what's on the screen? Can you read the words? Because that would be important. You can do it, Kaylee. Harness your inner villain. Kill all the darlings. But not Wendy, darling. No, what happened to my story? Gone. Reduced to atoms. Yeah, Kaylee just kept reducing it. She went past 350 words. I don't know what she was doing. She went down to the molecular level. Oops. It is not wanting to get bigger. It is not. It's 200. Yeah, it looks like 200's as far as it will go. So is it readable? Like...
What is it? I just let you in.
Here, I'll plonk like a little something in the word counter because we're going to be looking at the word counter way more than this. Different keys. Okay. There's that. I don't know. Let's see how big we can go. And that's as big as we can go. I don't think we need to get that big. Maybe that big could do, or one bigger. So I have stories that have been submitted for this purpose. So thank you to Lee Strangely, Death's Head, and Mako Kim for submitting stories for that. If anyone else wants to submit stories while I'm streaming, you can. I can't guarantee I'll use them, but you can. So I think what I'm gonna do is I think I will start with Death's Head's a 400-word story, ease into it with a shorter one, and then go to I was really interested in doing Lee Strangely, so I think I'll go down to Lee Strangely's and then maybe go back to Death's Head's 528 and then go down to Mako Kim. I gave them all a quick read, and from my just cursory glance, I think Mako's was going to be the hardest, and so I'm kind of saving it for last, but I could be totally wrong. That's just me doing a quick skim of all of them. Start with the tutorial level, yeah. Okay, so I also love that you wrote written circa, like it's written in the medieval times. All right. Oh goodness, you're so big. Give me the paragraphs. And there's the meow.
Come here, cat. Come here, silly little cat.
Hopefully I'm getting these right.
Meow. Baby cat.
I will also try to, yes, I get to be hard mode, nice. I will also try to get it down to the 2,000 character limit. I didn't want to promise that because A, that's gonna take longer and might mean I get to less stories, and B, I don't have to deal with that nearly as often, and so I don't know that I'm gonna be as good at it, and so I would like to do that, but I don't want to promise it.
Hello. Hello, little mister. What is it, baby? What do you want?
I got all this stuff on the desk. It's gonna be kind of hard.
Baby.
You're so silly.
You're such a silly cat. Yeah. Come here.
You are looking at the desk. All right, I'll move this.
I'll move this.
And then, well, I'll only move it if you...
Woo! Oh, baby! Oh, poor baby!
Oh, he tried to jump and then he fell. Oh, are you okay? Sweetheart. Oh, you poor sweet thing. Baby. Oh, goodness. Oh, uh-oh. Don't get that on the trophies. Don't get your goobers on the trophies. Baby.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, just get the goobers.
Okay. Yeah.
kitty. I think he's okay, but he really scared me.
Oh, baby. All right. Mary says, "Oh, I come across the character limit wall almost every time lately." This says, "I think I had 2 entries that didn't hit the character limit." Gotcha. All right. So this story is called "The Necromancer." It was written in 2016. It's 409 words. Belle was enjoying a pleasant nap in a tiny alcove when Celine yanked the book she was using as a pillow from beneath her head, awakening her with a sudden jolt. She sat upright, rubbing her head as her boss came into focus. "I hope you enjoyed your rest, Belle." Oh, wrong voice. "Hope you enjoyed your rest, Belle," she said brightly. You've work to do." "Yes?" she asked, sitting upright. "A rare book has come to my attention, and you're fetching it for the collection." "Is it in the dark realm?" "No," she replied, handing Belle a roll of parchment. "Oh, and you'll want to be armed." Before she could respond, Celine swept away, leaving Belle to her own devices. With a heavy sigh, she headed down to the armory to get a weapon, glancing over her instructions on the way. Gregor, the armory master, understood immediately why she was there. He fetched a musket for her, quickly showing her how to use it. Reasonably certain she could defend herself in a pinch, Belle departed the estate, following the map down narrow, winding forest trails. 4 days later, she arrived at her destination, an old tower standing on an overgrown hilltop. Belle cautiously approached, gingerly poking her head through the door. A laboratory of some sort was set up in the bottom floor, glassware filled with multicolored potions strewn across hefty wooden tables. Across the room there was a ghastly sight, a mummified corpse hooked up to a number of bizarre instruments. When she approached, the mummy silently sat upright, its hollow eyes staring at her. Instantly, Belle shot it through the heart, returning the monster to its eternal rest. Halfway through reloading, she heard someone descending the stairs. A young sorcerer ran into view, sending her into a panic. She hastily finished reloading and shot him in the arm. The lad cried out in pain, tumbling head over heels down the last few steps. Seizing her opportunity, Belle rushed past him up the stairs. In his quarters, she found the book Celine wanted. When she touched its cover, the tower melted away, and she was in Celine's office. The head librarian was seated behind her desk, casually flipping through a ream of papers. "Thank you, Belle," she said, laying the papers aside. But how?" "Don't think about it," Celine replied, taking the tome from her. Belle closed her eyes. "Don't think about it," she repeated. "Accept it, move on." "Now you're getting it," Celine said approvingly.
Kitty, you really are something.
All righty-roo. Let's get down to business. I can already take that out. Is that 2 spaces? Nah. I don't know what I did. Okay. Belle was enjoying a pleasant nap. That could just be Belle was napping in a tiny alcove when Celine yanked her book pillow. I guess that would be like that. I don't know if that conveys... I don't know if it quite conveys the same idea, but it's far less words. Around beneath her head. Whoa! Okay, I don't know if you saw that, but the screen darkened for a second. Awakening her with a jolt. She sat upright, rubbing her head as her boss came into focus. I might change that later. I hope you enjoyed your rest, Belle, she said brightly. You've got work to do. She asked. She was already sitting upright. So either I keep this one and take this one out, or I take this one out and keep this one. I think I'm going to take that one out. She rubbed her head. Sitting upright, her book has come to my attention, and you are fetching it for the collection. I could take out that and, but I'll leave it for now. Is in the dark realm? No, not important to a short story, so I think I will just cut that out. So she handed Belle a roll of parchment. And you'll want to be armed. Change that later. Where are we at right now? We're at 386. Before she could respond, Salem swept away, leaving Belle to her own devices. With a heavy sigh, she headed down to the armory to get a weapon, glancing over her instructions on the way. Could take out that on the way, but I'll leave it for now. Gregor, the armory master, understood immediately why she was there. He fetched a musket for her. I think I'm going to take this out because, again, that's another thing that isn't important to a short story and kind of just adds questions. Is that meant to be its own paragraph? Yes, it is. Okay. He fetched a musket for her. Actually, I might be able to take all of this away, but I'll leave it for now. Reasonably certain she could avenge herself in pinch, Belle departed for the estate, following the map down narrow, winding forest trails. I could just say forest trails, but I'll leave it for now. 4 days later, she arrived at her destination, an old tower standing on an overgrown hilltop. Okay, Belle cautiously approached, gingerly poking her head through the door. A laboratory of some sort. A laboratory was set up in the bottom floor. Glassware filled with multicolored potions strewn across hefty wooden tables.
Kitty? Hi. You want to come back? Silly thing?
I guess we'll take out hefty. It's one of those things that you could leave, but you could take out. Across the room was a ghastly sight. You know what? I think I'm going to take that out because it's kind of a preamble saying you're about to see something, and it works, but is not necessary. You can just say a ghastly mummified corpse hooked up to a number of bizarre instruments sat in the corner. Wait, where did it say that? It was across the room. Okay, sat across the room.
Kitty?
I don't know. Was that actually less words? I'm not so sure, but I'll leave it. And she approached the mummy. When she approached, the mummy silently sat upright, its hollow eyes staring at her. Instantly, Belle shot it through the heart, returning the monster to its eternal rest. Halfway through reloading, she heard someone descending the stairs. The young sorcerer ran into view, sending her into a panic. I could chop that down some more, but I will leave it for now. She hastily finished reloading and shot him in the arm. The lad cried out in pain, tumbling down. I think I'll just say he cried out in pain, or just cried. Maybe? No, I think that's more pitiful. Maybe not what you're going for. He cried out in pain, tumbling down the last 2 steps. Seizing her opportunity, Belle rushed past him up the stairs. Okay. In his quarters, she found the book Celine wanted. When she touched its cover, the tower melted away, and she was in Celine's office. The head librarian was seated behind her desk, casually flipping through a ream of papers. Thank you, Belle, she said, laying the papers aside. But how? Don't think about it, Celine replied, taking the tome from her. Close your eyes. Don't think about it, she repeated. Accept it, move on. Now you're getting it, Celine said approvingly.
Alright, there's the kitty.
Okay, so that was my first pass. So my first pass got it from 409 to 368, which is pretty good. I should say. Mark says, what's funny is the first 3 or 4 stories I didn't have a problem with the character limit. Then it made up for lost time ever since. Fair enough. Just 18 words over now. Yep. Debating going for nitro. Yep, that will fix the issue. There's an across twice in a row. Did I add that with like across the room? Oh yeah, across wooden tables and across the room. See, maybe I will. Maybe I will change it to in the corner, if that's acceptable. You can offer something else that's also 3 words. Dee Dee's Angel, very wordy how they talk. I mean, that's fair. Nico says, I regularly exceed the word limit without hitting the character limit. What the hell are you all writing? Long words, I think. Yeah, I do think long words hurt you. Alright.
Yeah, there you go. Sit in your chair.
Okie dokie. Now it is time for another round. I was thinking that I could change this to Belle, napping in a tiny alcove, was awoken by, but that will be more words. Not less. Oh yeah, and it's under... No, it's not. For a second I thought the character limit was 3,000. It's not. It's 2,000. It's still over. Let's see. I could just change this to you're fetching a rare book for the collection. But I think I'm gonna go for the more descriptive paragraphs first. Salen, I think I'll take this out and just say Salen left Belle to her own devices. I could even just say, before she could respond, Salem left Belle. 12 now. With a heavy, I guess I could just say swept away alone. That might be a better image. She responds, Salem swept away. With a heavy sigh, she headed to the armory for a weapon. Glancing over her instructions, sure, the armory master understood immediately why she was there. It should say, Gregor fetched a musket for her. And that's 350. But we are still 71 characters over the limit. So there is one, but now I will go into the characters. Could also do, actually, what does this do? Joel and her awake. Give you some. You could also say she rubbed her head, her boss coming into focus, but it's okay. So said brightly could be turned into one word. Would you say this would be like a chirp? What verb would you go for she said brightly, potentially? I can just change this to she sat upright, because we know she asked, so she sat upright. 52. She headed, okay, so she already said she needed a weapon, so she headed to the armory and sang over her instructions. I mean, we don't even need to know his name. We can just say the armory master fetched a musket for her. I could tack out in a pinch, but I'll wait for now. Belle departed. 18. Well, maybe I'll come back to that at the end. She arrived at 4 days later. She arrived at an old tower, and one standing in the overgrown hilltop. I guess I could do, let's try it. Glass are filled with multicolored potions strewn across wooden tables, comprised the bottom floor laboratory. That does not sound laboratory? Is that right? No, that's not right. Laboratory, right, of course. That worked. Okay. Yeah, and you could probably use naming the armory master and have her just go there and grab a musket. Yeah, you could take out the armory master and just say she headed to the armory and fetched a musket for sure. I'm trying to figure out, because the only thing that ends up, well, one thing that I end up questioning at the end of the story is, so is this like a mantra that she basically keeps saying, that she's been working here for like a week or something, and the librarian keeps saying, hey, don't think about it, just accept it and move on. And so is she like repeating that and being like, okay, I've already asked this a bunch of times and I get it, I'm not supposed to ask, and she's finally getting it? That's kind of what I was getting, but I wasn't sure if that was correct. But the other thing that continues to stick out at me is I don't really get the feeling of 4 days here. That the 4 days, it just goes by, oh yeah, 4 days. And so I'm trying to figure out how you might be able to add something back in to make that feel like longer, feel like time is passing. Let's try something like, if I did, how would that sound? I do think that's a bit better. That conveys more time. Reasonably certain she could defend herself in a pinch, Belle departed, following the map. 4 days of winding forest trails later, she arrived in an old tower. I do think that helps. You could probably do more, but and I think what I would do is this, because I think part of it is also that it goes from, oh, she's thinking about defending herself because she just got the musket, to immediately 4 days later. And so I think if you put the musket up with the other musket stuff and then start with, okay, new paragraph 4 days later, that also might help with feeling like time is passing. So let's read these two paragraphs. Where she could respond, sound swept away. With a heavy sigh, she headed to the armory, glancing over the instructions. The armory master fetched a musket for her. Reasonably certain she could defend herself in a pinch, Belle departed, following the map. 4 days of winding forest trails later, she arrived in an old tower standing on an overgrown hilltop. It does still feel jarring to go from, oh yes, following the map, to 4 days later. But I don't know, maybe that's better. You guys can say if you like it better, if you actually liked the original more, or if you liked the putting the reasonably certain and the 4 days later in one paragraph. How many, let's see. We have a teensy amount of characters. Also, you could take out one of old and overgrown. I would keep overgrown if you take out one, but they do convey similar things. I think it's okay. Let's read it again. Let's read my it says I'm not wedded to anything in this story anymore. It's been 8 years. That's fair. And don't think about it as a recurring phrase in these stories. Very fair. All right, so I'll read it again with my edits, and we'll see how it sounds. Belle was napping in a tiny alcove when Celine yanked her book pillow from beneath her head, jolting her awake. She rubbed her head as her boss came into focus. "Hope you enjoyed your rest, Belle," she said brightly. "You've work to do." "Yes," she sat upright. "A rare book has come to my attention, and you're fetching it for the collection." She handed Belle a roll of parchment. "Oh, and you'll want to be armed." Before she could respond, Celine swept away. With a heavy sigh, she headed to the armory, glancing over her instructions. The armory master fetched a musket for her. Reasonably certain she could defend herself in a pinch, Belle departed, following the map. 4 days of winding forest trails later, she arrived at an old tower standing on an overgrown hilltop. Belle cautiously approached, gingerly poking her head through the door. Glassware filled with multicolored potions strewn across wooden tables comprised the bottom floor laboratory. I'm going to come back to that. A ghastly mummified corpse hooked up to a number of bizarre instruments sat in the corner. When she approached, the mummy silently sat upright, its hollow eye staring at her. Instantly, Belle shot it through the heart, returning the monster to its eternal rest. Halfway through reloading, she heard someone descending the stairs. A young sorcerer ran into view, sending her into a panic. She hastily finished reloading and shot him in the arm. He cried out in pain, tumbling down the last few steps. Seizing her opportunity, Belle rushed past him up the stairs. In his quarters, she found the book Celine wanted. When she touched its cover, the tower melted away, and she was in Celine's office. The head librarian was seated behind her desk, casually flipping through papers. "Thank you, Belle," she said, laying the papers aside. But how?" "Don't think about it," Celine replied, taking the tome from her. Belle closed her eyes. "Don't think about it," she repeated. "Accept it, move on." "Now you're getting it," Celine said approvingly. Okay, so I didn't like... so glassware filled with multicolored potions strewn across wooden tables comprised the bottom floor laboratory. That is too many things in one sentence. Let's see. What was it before? A laboratory set up on the bottom floor. Why do you do that? I don't understand you, computer. I don't know what I'm doing. Goodness. Okay. And okay, it's the same sentence. All right. So does that put us over again? It does not. Okay. Yeah, that's better. All right. So before we yeah, Mark says, "I've also realized that with characters that have long names, pronouns are your friend." For sure. Okay, so do you guys have any last questions, thoughts, suggestions, whatever, for this story before I move on to the next story? There's the other thing that was kind of not tripping me, but I would like to make this into a more active verb, but like I said, I was trying to, and it made it more words. I guess I can see how many characters it is. Belle, napping in a tiny alcove, awoke when Celine yanked her book pillow from beneath her head. Awoke with a jolt. Belle, napping in a tiny alcove, awoke with a jolt when Belle, napping in the tiny alcove, awoke with a jolt when Selin yanked her book pillow from beneath her head. That works. I don't know if it's for sure better, but I was just trying to take out the was and just use napping as the verb. Yeah, you could do Belle jolted awake when Selin yanked her book pillow from her head. Like, you don't actually have to say that she was napping. It's true. Yeah, it doesn't... I'm not seeing any questions, so I guess I can copy my oh goodness. Kaylee's edited down version. So why not? There you go. Okay, so now I'll go down to Lee Strangely. Mako, can you check for me how long your story is? I don't believe that you put the word number on it. So this one is 888 words, so significantly more than the one that we just did. I don't know if I want to do all the paragraphing. I don't know. Okay. Cool air and lamplight, with a half-life that dimmed exponentially the further away you went, made this dark alley the perfect image of what people learn to fear and avoid. Such a reputation made traffic on it all but non-existent, much to Shiloh's relief. Shiloh's bishop made its way forward. Check. From the seemingly unmanned opposite end of the board, a rook rushed in his way. The bishop took the rook. Check again. The king and the bishop's path began to shake as an unseen hand struggled to pick a direction. In a sudden burst, it finally moved along. But then, leaping in from the side, Shiloh's knight strode forth. Checkmate. The king tried to move again. That's still checkmate. A slew of pieces on the board proceeded to knock themselves over. Quit pouting. Maybe if you hadn't lost your... Creak. Shiloh froze. A tall picket fence lined one side of the alleyway. Even in the dim light, he could clearly see it wobbling as a body attempted to straddle the top. The old boards cried out of stress. Creak. The figure's balance inevitably gave out, sending them over in a manner similar to a sack of potatoes. Ow, she muttered. Are you okay? Shiloh asked. A little smile appeared as she looked up at him. Oh, hi, Shiloh. He squinted. I'm sorry, who are you? Maddie Meridian. We have social studies together. Oh, right. You saved me from Bernie. And you're the only person in class that hasn't laughed at me or belittled me. He took notice of her pitch black hair. Wasn't your hair lighter? Yeah. She ran one of her hands through her curls. My pen exploded. A pen did all that? Well, it wouldn't wash out, so she looked down at her hand as the ink rubbed off on it. Finished the job. Shiloh pointed to a lighter streak. You missed a spot. Oh, I meant to do that. It adds distinction. You look like the mad scientist from every old monster flick. I know, she stated happily. Isn't it cool? So what you doing? Nothing. Sounded like you were talking to someone. I wasn't. He blushed. Was it him? Maddie asked, eyeing the chessboard. Who? Was it him? The guy in your report? Shiloh's hand drifted over the chess set to move it away. No, it wasn't. Her hand moved to intercept his. Who was it then? Both of them began to realize how quiet the alley really was. Maddie flashed the eyes of a puppy as she plopped down on the old pavement. In response, Shiloh's face utilized its natural ability to uncontrollably turn various shades of red to ward off such predators. Come on, Maddie begged. I'm curious, not mean. You promise you won't tease me? Shiloh bleated. Maddie nodded with an excited smile. My grandpa, he muttered while his eyes evaded hers. I was talking to my grandpa. Ooh, what did he say? Well, He doesn't really speak all that much. He pulled the chessboard over. I usually just play chess with him. In fact, Shiloh began resetting the pieces. Here, watch this. Once set up, Shiloh moved one of his pawns. Your move, he clarified to the unseen entity. Oh, wait, is he going to move them? Yeah, though usually he takes his time at the start. Maddie's eyes darted between her hands and the board. Wait, before he does anything, can I do something first? Sure, I guess, Shiloh stammered. What do you want to... Before he could finish, she already took to action. Her hands rubbed all around and through her hair before beginning to rub down the chess pieces opposite to Shiloh. What are you trying to do? He inquired, while instinctively leaning in to clean them off. She immediately stopped him. No, don't. Leave them be. Though it took a little time, eventually an opposing pawn crept forward. Maddie's attention was glued to the board as Shiloh brought forth another pawn. To Maddie's amazement, one of the opposing knights then made a leap across the line of pawns. Whoa, she looked at Shiloh. Show me your hands. What? There's no way those pieces could have been touched without the ink rubbing off. Show me your hands. You don't believe me, he said, scowling a little. No, I believe you. Questioning everything doesn't mean accepting nothing. I just like being thorough. Now hands, show 'em. Shiloh's clean hands went up, along with a mild grimace. Maddie giggled. Was that so hard? Knowing the pettiness of doing otherwise, and his own natural weakness, Shiloh couldn't help but flash at least a hint of a smile at her banter. Shiloh started to put the pieces back in his bag. It's getting a bit late. My parents are probably worried about me. Yours too, probably. Nah, Dad doesn't care, she joked. I could go up on a train and he wouldn't bat an eye. But once the school calls and interrupts him, then he'll be concerned. As both of them stood up to leave, Shiloh looked back at Maddie. You know, back at school, when you stopped Bernie... Thank you. You're welcome, she replied as she walked down the alley. As she got further away, he called out, I owe you one! See you tomorrow! She called back. 807 words, Mako says. All right. So these actually is the longest one on the list. Words. Alrighty, room. It's very nice to read a actual full-length story about Maddie and Shiloh. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna take out is this. This doesn't make sense to me, and I even asked him about it, and he was like, I don't know why I decided to be so wordy with that, but for me, it muddies what is actually going on. Now, the one thing it does do is it tells you that, presuming Shiloh is supposed to be the narrator, that he has a very scientific brain. So you can use that sort of thing to show that, but there is a balance between, this is how the character thinks, and I'm showing you something with a character, and confusing the reader who doesn't know a whole lot about that. So yeah, I'll take that out. And I don't know, how important any of the description is. So let's go back to what it actually was. So I think it's just saying that, it, as you look further, it's dimmer, as alleys are. Wow. Because that's my Twitch subscription to Tail Foundry ended today, so this is my first stream without Tailoids. A momentous occasion. Oh, you can grab them with channel points. Nice. Didn't know that. So I guess I'll just leave, I'll leave it as is for now. I'll do another pass. Yeah. So I'm going to say, so this is misleading to me, because this seems to be saying that Shiloh isn't moving them. And that's kind of confusing, because the point is Shiloh is moving his, but his ghost grandpa is moving the other ones, and so they are moving by an unseen hand. And so saying that Shiloh's pieces seem to move of their own accord muddies the image, and so I think that this should just be Shiloh moved his bishop. I could even just say moved his bishop. For the seemingly unmanned opposite end of the board. I could just say opposite. Yeah, I guess that works. The seemingly unmanned opposite end, a rook rushed in his way. Bishop took the rook. Attack again. The king in the bishop's path began to shake. Just do, could just do shook. As an unseen hand struggled to pick a direction. To be shorter. Leave it for now. Sudden burst, it finally moved along. I could just say moved. Then leaping in from the side, Shiloh's knight strode forth. Checkmate. Shiloh strode his knight forth. Checkmate. The king tried to move again. That's still checkmate. So the hoof pieces on the board knocked themselves over. So, by the way, most of this chess game can be removed, and I might do that on later passes, but all of those separate lines on Paris are going to be a hell of a character count. Oh, so I guess I should just to show that. Okay. It doesn't actually count it, though, on the word counter. So, I guess I can, well, I was going to say, I guess I can plonk it into Discord. I guess I can do that on my phone. So, yeah, I guess I can move them. But I didn't say this, but I think you're seeing it, that what I do when I'm cutting a story down is I start with just I don't start with the big cuts unless there's something that I'm like, this really doesn't add anything and it can and should be cut. I try to start with more little things that make things less words, and then as I do another read, then I will cut out bigger chunks with each new read. But yeah, so like I know that I can end on checkmate. Like if I just talk about the alley and end on checkmate, I might not even need to talk about the alley. But if I just end on checkmate, it will work. But I don't want to do that yet. I want to see what else I can take out before I take that out. Yep, start small. Something that I know I can take out is the Bernie stuff. All the Bernie stuff is not related to this specific scene, and people who haven't read that story won't understand what's being mentioned or its significance, and so I think that I will take that stuff out. Probably means the end will be different, or that I'll change it to like those bullies or something like that. I actually didn't get around to reading that story, but I assume that this is a bully. I guess one of you could Lee supplied the story, so I guess one of you could quick look at it and tell me who Bernie is. The dye thing is really clever. I like the whole dye thing. Like you see it come off on her hands first, and then she rubs it on the pieces. I think that was well done. Do indents count as a character Death's Head? Because if so, I need to remove those indents as well. Okay. Yeah, so I don't like the body thing personally, because that, to me, that conjures the image of he's playing chess with his ghost grandpa, and then he hears an ominous creak, and he sees literally a dead body, like, slumped over the fence. So that is what that image gives me. So I definitely want to change that. In the dim light, he could see the tall picket fence wobbling as someone straddled the top. I like this, but I guess you could say either here. So see the talents wobbled and cried out. I guess I'll put them both in there for now. So in the dim light, you can clearly see the tall picket fence wobbling. Well, you can't see it crying out. So yeah, you can clearly see the tall picket fence wobbling as someone straddled the top. I think that this, to me, creak, like I said, and like I voiced it, creak is a very like slow, creepy creak when you use it that way. And so the first one kind of works because it's a sound that, you know, makes him look. But the second one, I think, gives the wrong impression for what's going on, because it's more of just a like creak, wobble, wobble, wobble kind of thing. And now this can be inside the other paragraph. Oh yeah, if those are spaces, I think they will be characters. The figure's balance gave out, sending them over like a sack of potatoes. Yeah, so I guess I do need to remove these. Oops. Okay. Ah, he did it again. I don't know why. I don't know why you do this. Yeah, I should have done the the indents and the paragraphs together, perhaps. Looks different when I type it. Incoming ad break. Okay, so it is. Is it telling you Death Set, or is it only telling Mako? Okay, so it's not telling you. You're getting warned. That's so weird, because I got warned. I was getting warned the other night, and you guys weren't. And now you're getting warned, and I'm not. So, and I think, as far as I know, I set all of the warnings. I said, I get warned, mods get warned, and everyone gets warned. So this is so weird. Gotcha. again. I think I might be hitting this home button. There's a button that says home right next to the backspace. I think I might be hitting that. I don't know. I think I've said... I didn't hit anything that time. I think I've said that this is not my usual computer, and so I am not used to how it works. And then, and I get something that says ad break in progress. So maybe you guys get warned and I get something that says it's in progress. That one is my fault. We're at the end. We're in the home stretch. Okay. I mean, maybe I've never seen an ad break. When there is an ad for me, it's frozen. Oh no. Maybe I've never seen the ad break thing at all before. 3, 2, 1. All right. Oh, goodness. Hello. Can I have my screen back, please? Thank you. All right. So we were at the fence. Little is cute, but not necessary. I'm sorry, what are you? Maybe we have social studies together. I like all of this, but it's not necessary. I mean, I guess this might be. So, oh right, you're the only person in class that hasn't laughed at me. It could be belittled or laughed at. I guess belittled will be a single word. Well, but laughed at would be more kid-like, I think. He noticed. I feel like there's a better way to phrase this, or a shorter way to phrase this, but it's very necessary to keep in, so I'll leave it for now. Oh, audio suddenly desynced, but you're back. All right. Could say you look like a mad scientist, but I'll leave it for now. I remember this story, and so I like this, but it's not necessary. Who was it? It might be a problem that it's taking out the back and forth and thereby taking out the time it's taking to wear Shiloh down. But I'll just have that for now. Who was it? Realized. Flashed. Puppy eyes. Flopping. This one's a good technique. So instead of as she plopping, I do that a lot, to where I turn a just ed verb into an ing verb, and it takes out some words. Maybe just cut on it. Yeah, that works. Oops. Yeah, that time I definitely hit the home button. They suddenly realized, where is that? Oh, I don't want to add a suddenly. Suddenly is generally not a word that you should add in. uh, I really like this. It's very cute, but it's a lot of words that for something that can be described more simply. So I'm gonna take it off. Shayla's face turned various shades of red. I can just say turned red, but I'll leave it at that for now. That's why it's in parentheses in case you thought cutting both of them realized down that much was too much. Gotcha. We can look at it again on another pass. I do like this idea too. I'm curious, not mean. It's cute. I like the bleated. It's a good word as well. Muttered. Evading her eyes. My grandpa. We don't need to repeat this. We can just say my grandpa. Oh, what did he say? He doesn't really speak all that much. This is a nice action, but not necessary. Maybe I'll leave that one for now. Moved a pawn. Move them. Maybe I'll say Maddie's eyes. Maybe I'll take it out for now. It works, it's helpful, but again, not necessary. Guess. What do you want to before you finish? That can be clear from the little dash. Cherry took action. Rubbing her hands. Running her hands through her hair before rubbing. Because you can rub your hair, but especially because you say the word rub later in the sentence, I think just saying run and then rub works a little better. I might clarify, like, I'm assuming that his are black, so moved a black pawn, and then before rubbing down the white pieces. What are you trying to do? We don't need to have him try to clean them off. Inquired. Take a little time. We could take this out because we already clarified that it took time. That took a little time. An opposing pawn crept forward. Maddie's attention. Is there a way to take out the was glued? I guess I could just say stuck. Maddie's attention stuck to the board as Shiloh brought forth. I can just say moved. Moved another pawn. Nice movement. One of the opposing knights leapt across the line of pawns. Whoa. Show me your hands. take out the repeat. This is cute, but you can take it out. I don't really get why he's grimacing here. I think because you'd grimace if you were guilty. Like, that's a very guilty expression to me. So I think what it is like, yeah, I'm telling the truth. Hee hee, I can see ghosts. Don't make fun of me. But because of that confusion, I'm gonna take it out. And then I think I will take this out too. It's a lot of long words that don't, in the end, say a whole lot. And a hint of a smile tells us he's kind of like a little nervous and embarrassed. It's getting late. Parents are probably worried about me. This is not a joke. It's very true. So I'm assuming that it says she joked because that's what Shiloh thinks. It might be worth taking out, though. I guess I'll just say that. Bully. She replied. Walking down the alley. Might have to take out the ending. It's not super important. So let's see what that first pass did. Hey, 676. That's a couple hundred words, or at least 100. I think it's like 130. So that's not nothing. Seems like you're inevitably going to lose a lot when you're more than twice the word count. Oh, for sure, yeah. We're gonna have to start hacking very soon. Maybe the joke was meant to be the second part, or said jokingly, like to make him think that she's joking. Maybe. Let's go back. Maybe it could be something like she chuckled, because that could be either she's joking or like, yeah, he doesn't care kind of thing. Okay. Let's see here. Maybe you could do something like, trying to think. So it could be something like Shiloh played chess in a dark alley with an unseen entity, but that might seem quite telly. It could be, or like, Shiloh played chess in an alley, but if anyone were to look at the scene, they would say he was playing with no one. But again, that could be too telly. I think you're trying to go for showing us instead of telling us. So how could I take out much of the chess game and still keep that? Because I want to just go down to like checkmate and the pieces knocking over, because I think that's all you need to know. Like, oh, he's playing chess with a ghost. But so let's see. And it is nice to know that this alley is not usually trafficked, like there's not usually traffic on it, but it's not, I guess, not necessary. So I guess it could just be Shiloh strode his knight forth. Checkmate. And then how is it described? the seemingly unmanned opposite end of the board. The king tried to move again. That's still checkmate. An unseen force, I guess. So 1, yeah. So there's 200 off. Okay, so Charlotte strode his knight forth. Checkmate. From the seemingly unmanned opposite end of the board, the king tried to move again. I guess I can take out seemingly. I mean, it works, but, I don't know. Then that seems to be saying it is unmanned and it's not. Oops. Darn it. I don't know the high keys. Okay, try to move again. That's great. Quit pouting if you hadn't lost your... Maybe if... And then he gets cut off, right? It's not... I don't know. I guess it works. In the dim lamp light... of the alley, he could clear it. It's that comma. Okay. In the dim lamplight of the alley, he could see the picket fence wobbling as someone straddled the top.
Hi, kitty. You want out? You're so good. You're so cute.
As someone straddled it. I guess I could just go straight to someone, well, what's it fell? What was the word? I guess. In the light of the alley, you could see the picket fence wobbling and someone fell over the top like a sack of potatoes. There are a lot of different combinations you could do there. You could just do as someone's balance gave out would work as well. You could take out the sack of potatoes thing, which I might do later, but I will keep it for now because I like it. I think it's a good image. You could see, yeah. She smiled up at him. I might, I could take out them not knowing each other, but I can, or him not knowing her, but I'll leave it for now. You know, this is actually probably something someone would think, not say. She was the only person in class who hadn't laughed at him. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, I like that. Okay. And as her ink-stained hand, her now ink-stained hand, job. Also, this might be a dumb question, but wasn't it the bride of Frankenstein's monster that had the black hair with the white, not, I guess in that case, Henry Frankenstein? Oh, I guess this might be a little more on the nose than you wanted it to be, but her saying, was it the guy from your report, is her saying, was it a ghost? Is saying, I know that you can see ghosts. Was it that ghost that you saw before? So, but people who haven't read that story won't know that. And so I guess you could say, was it a ghost? Yes, it's maybe more on the nose than you want it to be, but it is also less words and very clear for newcomers. And it could be kind of cute because it could be like, oh, is it a ghost? And at first you think that, oh yeah, kid's playing, but then you realize she's completely serious. So maybe that could work. I guess I could just say, realized the quietness of... That might not have been less words, actually. Well, there's the quietness of the alley. I don't know if that's better, actually. We don't need to know that she plops down on the pavement. She seems to get up later. Any fleshed puppy eyes. Shadow's face turn shades red. I think we do need something. So I think him turning red works a little bit better if after, was it a ghost? Maybe, I can take out okay, so I can do this. So tell me, please, and then take out the come on and change it to the action alone. Addie flesh, puppy eyes. I do that quite a lot with these stories too. That's definitely something I recommend. Of sometimes you can, especially if you have an action and a dialogue tag, sometimes you can merge it into one and then just have it be the action. That was the first time what appeared. But anyways, so like actions are usually more helpful and more valuable in these short stories than dialogue tags are. Dialogue tags can absolutely be helpful and sometimes necessary as well, and sometimes they are shorter. But especially if you have both, and I mean they actually can be the same amount. Like you can use 2 words as an action. So all I'm saying is that sometimes you might want to look out for this sort of thing where you can put an action in instead of a dialogue tag, and much better if you can actually take something out to put that in. The white streak. It was on the bride, the scientist, the first time at least. It'd get combined in the future because it is a cool look, not the scientist. I'm confused. Can you clarify? Was it on the scientist or the bride, or was the bride the scientist in this case? If so, I did not realize that. I have only seen the first one. I haven't seen that one. I left out the word not because my hands suck. Aw. I don't think it's your hand's fault. I think it is either your phone or Twitch's fault. But yeah, on the bride. So I guess it would be, so actually, can you look it up for me? Like, I don't know, I guess you could look up, like black hair, white streak or something. I guess that might come up with like Rogue from X-Men. Though her hair is brown. But you could try and look it up, and if you seem to find that I'm correct, definitely not your phone because you're on desktop. Oh, dang. But yeah, can you look that up for me? And if it is correct that it's just the bride, and not like a bunch of scientists, then I will change that line or remove it.
There's a squeaky. There's a squeak. You're so cute. You're too much.
Ah. We usually just play chess. Just say reset. We can take out the clarification that he takes a while, and especially because he says your move, we know that's what's going on.
You're so cute, kitty. Yes, you are.
I guess if it's just sure ... question mark, that'll work. Took action. She was already running her hands through her hair. And then rubbed down. The bride has the white streak. Dr. Frankenstein has very short, slick back hair, all black in the original movie. Well, there's two. So I mean, I have written this in stories before, so you might remember, but they switched the names, and Victor is his best friend, and Henry is the scientist. So I do remember that Victor absolutely had streaked back black hair, but I feel like Henry's hair was actually lighter. I could be wrong, though, that maybe they both had that hairstyle. Let's see. It took time. Maybe he doesn't have to ask what she's doing. Oh, this should be a question mark. Then, no, I guess that would be then running down the white pieces. Yeah, okay. If she's amazed, we know she's watching. And opposing knight. Left across pawns. Hint. Ah. In his bag. Don't like the repetition of probably. I guess it works just to say yours too, because he said probably for his, so it applies to hers. I could take out the train thing. I like it, but I could decide Dad doesn't care, but once the school calls and interrupts him, then he'll be concerned. Then again, I don't have a good picture of where they are or what's going on, because all I know is they're in an alley. So either they're at school in an alley, or they're in a random alley, or they're by Shiloh's house by an alley, and it's quite hard to tell. So perhaps we could even remove the school thing. I mean, I guess you could just say, nah, my dad doesn't care, and chuckle. That could work. I think I'll leave it for now, but, as they stood to leave. This is definitely something, like, you can say stood instead of stood up. That's definitely something you can cut in a lot of stories. I have an idea for something to say that is more contained in the story. I like that. I think that could be more powerful. I mean, in the actual novel, it might work better as the bully thing, but for this contained story, I think that works better. She walkied. You're welcome. I guess you could just say, you're welcome, and there. Okay, so that took out another 100 words about. Yep, closing in on 500. I found one picture of a Dr. Frankenstein that maybe has white streaks. Could just be the actor going gray at the temples in real life. Gene Wilder has a lot of white hair in Young Frankenstein, but it's not a streak. More like the whole back of his head. Gotcha. Okay, so I think I will change that part then. Yeah, and I bet Lee is gonna be mad about this because I know this is very intentional that she is supposed to look like a mad scientist because that's what she is. But I mean it does. I mean we'll change it, but you look like a certain monster from a movie I once saw. That might be more words, I'm not sure. You look like a monster from a movie I once saw. I know. Just do that, please. Isn't it cool? She could say something like, I was going for mad scientist, but I'll take it. Or something like that. Could we take this out? Yeah, I think that'll work. All right, so we're around, we need to take around 100 words out. Oh goodness, I did not mean to hit that. Stop it. Okay. It's not a wrong thing to say. It's a pop culture thing to have mad scientists with streaks in their hair. It's just not in any old movies. It's definitely a trope no older than the 80s. Oh, I see. So it's not so much... Okay, hold on. Do you know what the trope is from? Like, where would it be seen if it's not monster flicks? So... I mean, I guess you could just say you look like a mad scientist. But... if you know what it's from, maybe I can add that. Let's try a little... Strode works better in the other version. Moved, I think, is better here. Yeah, I think that works. The lamplit pick of pins. Might have to take this out. Smiled at him. Oh, it should be who. I noticed that immediately, and none of the other times. Stood up and looked down. You can remove those. Bride of Frankenstein is probably the first time black hair, white streak showed up in pop culture. It was just the bride. The doctor had dark, slick back hair. More. Yeah, so you could do either, but I assume you're going for mad scientist, and if that is indeed a trope, it is less words to say that. So you could just say, you look like a mad scientist. Einstein was famous for his wild poof of hair. This is probably the inspiration for Doc Brown in Back to the Future. Mm-hmm. It does say he blushed before, so I guess let's say a new shade of red. The stutter and the ... helps it seem muttered. And the evasion of the eyes. Could just go to... What happened? What? What did I just do? Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. I like barely hit anything. Can that all be one? I think it works better as its own. But I think you can. I mean, it's the computer. It's if I knew how to work the computer better, it would work better. Which is fine. White streak in the bride's hair looks like lightning. So putting that white streak into black hair, slicked back or wild, becomes a common thing when creating one of mad scientists for cartoon villains or just to evoke the trope. Gotcha. Guess I can take this out. I guess we can take that out as well. She ran here, then wrote down the white pieces. I guess the woe conveys her amazement. If that's all in one, this can be two. There's no way... I don't like the passive voice here, so there's no way you could have touched those pieces. Now I can do the action again. He scowled. I guess, okay, I think I figured out why this line throws me. Questioning everything doesn't mean accepting nothing. Like, I liked that, and I liked the reversing phrases, but something about it didn't seem right. And I think it's supposed to be Questioning everything doesn't mean accepting everything. Well, now that I've typed that, that could be wrong. Like, maybe he's saying, like, because she's... So what she's saying is, I question everything, but I still believe you. And so it's like, I question everything, but that doesn't mean that I don't accept anything. So I guess that is what it is. It just is a little odd. I think I'll take all this out, like I said. So about 60 words left, so probably really gonna have to pull out the hatchet now. Just because I don't believe you. Wait, yeah, try that again. So white streaks in the hair of mad scientist is a common trait, but just doesn't originate from old movies. The streak does, but it wasn't on Dr. Frankenstein. Well, in a way, you didn't actually answer my question, because my question is, where does it show up? Does it then show up? Are you saying it still shows up in movies, but not old movies? In which case, like, Shiloh probably thinks they're old, and so it means the original line actually would work totally fine. Or are you saying it shows up in TV shows or in, like, books it's described or something like that? Or music videos or something. Like, where does it actually show up? Just because I believe you doesn't mean I don't question the nature of it. That could work. Okay. I think all this is necessary. It's a lot of words, but I think it's necessary. It's too bad that all your cool images of the fence had to be taken out over the top of the lamp lit fence. Yeah, that works. Yeah, I think that's correct. I think this is important because it tells you their age. I guess it could just be this. You missed a spot. You look like a mad scientist. I know, isn't it cool? I guess this isn't that important, so we can take it out. Where are we? 392, quite a bit left. Can take that out. Maybe I do need to put it all in one. Might be more natural. White streak and dark hair became one of the shorthands for mad scientists. It wasn't used in any serious works. Just shows where you needed to know quickly what a character was. Like Tiny Toons. Might go back to Looney Tunes, actually. But that's where it comes from, to the best of my knowledge. Gotcha. It's a little awkward to go from, whoa, show me your hands. I kind of want to take out the whoa, but I did take out all of the, like, her eyes glued to it and her being amazed, so I think I do need to keep it. Let's see, what did you say? Just because I believe you doesn't mean just because I believe you doesn't mean I don't question it. So 11 words. Questioning everything doesn't mean accepting nothing. It's a lot of those words. So I think I'll keep is original. This is a lot sadder and punchier of a line as is, but you don't, I guess maybe it works. I don't know. $75. We're getting close, y'all. Guess I finally have to. I guess some of the potatoes was one of my darlings I had to kill. You know, I think this is another darling I have to kill. You missed a spot. I know. I meant to do that. It's sad to take it out, but it isn't necessary to understand the scene. 65, 15 words. The home stretch. Could maybe take out her asking. I'll keep going and come back to it. Could just say a small smile. I like hint more, but it's more words. Getting this under the character count is going to be brutal. Yep. So I guess I could just say he started leaning up. 59. We are in the final 10. I guess I could just say, well, no, that won't work. I guess she could say, nah. It should just be, it's getting late. My parents are probably worried about me. Yours too. Nah, she chuckled. Yeah, I guess that, I don't know. Guess we don't actually need that at all. I don't know. I guess we do need a little, after what she said, we need a beat. Could I take that out? Guess that's fine. We know they're gonna leave. 4 words, y'all. 4 words. I guess I could just say sounded. Sounded like you were talking to someone. I could say, like, I wasn't. Was it a ghost? Shiloh blushed, but I will save it. Where am I? I don't like repeating, like, he moved upon. I guess it does need to say pawns then if I don't say it there. You couldn't touch those pieces without ink. See, this is one of the interesting things to me about editing these pieces down, because I think this phrasing of you couldn't touch those pieces without ink rubbing off is actually way more clear to me than the original phrasing. And that's 350, y'all! Woo! Maybe cut out that's and leave it still checkmate. Yep. Okay, so we're at 350, but now we gotta do the character limit. So yes, I can go back and do that. Okay. How could you do, like Shiloh moved his knight forth? Is there an active verb you could use for that instead? I mean, I think it's another couple of characters, but I like charged. Yes, sci-fi pipe. I could take out, she muttered, but I'll wait. Yeah, nah. I'll take it out. I don't know. That ain't right. It's a little more awkward, but it's less characters. I can take out a little, but I don't really want to because he scowled is a different vibe too. He scowled a little. 350 words, that is about 1 page, maybe slightly more. Yep. And welcome, new person. Master China. Ugh, I want to fix this so bad because seemingly unmanned opposite are so long words right next to each other, but I don't know what else to say there. I guess maybe I could do from the empty opposite or vacant might be good. Yeah, I like that. Vacant opposite end of the board. Oh wow. I just looked at the clock. It's 5:32. I eat dinner at 6, so I almost assuredly am only going to have time for one more story. And I am going to pick Death's Heads because I don't think I'm going to be able to do another 800 word story in 30 minutes, but I might be able to do a 500 word story. Always check the end of paragraph. Sometimes there's a space lurking after a period. Potentially. Oh, there's gonna be an ad. Hey, there's one of those spaces. And he's not here to see it. Maybe I could do Promise You Won't Laugh. I don't know if I want to take out just. We usually just play chess. Do we usually play chess? I guess that works. Maybe so. You want me to keep doing this? Is this helpful? A good thing? How much do we have? 39. Oh, you gotta go now, Mako? Yeah, it's much harder to do the characters than the words. It's so funny because it's the same brand of thing, but it feels so much harder. I guess I could take out lamplets. It's not that important to know that we're in the lamp. I mean, it says that it's getting late later. And I guess lamplet to me implies it's dark, not it's almost dark. So maybe it would actually be better to say just take that out. How many words? I don't know how many characters. We can assume it's Shiloh. 18. Maybe change hadn't to didn't. I don't know. I guess I like hadn't because it implies, oh, she's gonna, but she hasn't yet. And we learn, no, she's not going to later. I think I have to take this out. I like it. I want to keep it in, but it's not necessary. Can I do that? I don't think it's needed. I assume that's enough. It is. Okay, so can you guys do something for me? Discord has decided it doesn't want to work on this computer. The real decoy, welcome. Right, done with D&D. How's the surgery? Well, I just finally got this story both under 350 words and under 2,000 characters. So, yay! But I do need to see if it's actually under 2,000 in Discord. So, can one of you guys do something for me? Oh yeah, I reached, that's gonna be hard. Oh, I know what to do. Put it over here. Oh, goodness. Yep. Wow, that was fast. So yeah, somebody, Kaylee's edited version. Can somebody grab that and tell me what it is in Discord? Like the exact number of characters over it is. How do you see that in Discord? Do you just have to post? You don't have to post. It doesn't always work on the desktop, but I know on the phone, when I go over, it will tell me how many characters over I am. I don't know if that is a Nitro only perk, so if it is, Mako has to do it. But yeah, if you use it on your phone, then it will tell you how many over you are. So let me know how over I am, and then I can 27, but I already stamped that down by eliminating a few spaces at the end of sentences. Okay. So do you know how many that takes care of? I got a couple while you were okay. 1, so 26. 25, 24, 1, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. Okay, unless you... Yeah, okay, 18, he says. All right. Let's try and get those last 18. I guess, could I just try it again? I guess that would work. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Guess it doesn't have to pick it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 11. I don't know though. I like. Is that right? No, it's not. Where am I? Okay. Swap knight for rook and save 2. That is a good point. White rook, so 16. Where'd it go? 15, 14. 13. Twelve. It's exactly the same. Oh my goodness. I guess you could just say no. And that is 15 characters. Believing no. Questioning everything doesn't mean accepting nothing. I just like being thorough. I don't know if that would... I guess no might seem like it's... oh gosh. Okay. I don't know if I could do like raised. 1, so 11. So 5. So that's 1. Oh yeah, maybe? I don't know, I feel like it loses a little something. It's like, cause she's saying, oh, it's no big deal. I just, like being thorough, that kind of thing. Okay, you think I'm under now? Let's grab it. Okay, can you grab that and check it for me? Ah, you're a coyote, it looks like. Yeah. ... Uh-oh. Am I over? Or more? 1 character. Okay, so it was correct. My calculations were correct. I guess I could just do... were knocked over. So pieces were knocked over by Amnesty Force. I think that works, and that's less words, less characters. Okay, let's read our final one. Shiloh charged his knight forth. Checkmate. From the vacant opposite end of the board, the king tried to move again. Still checkmate. A slew of pieces were knocked over by an unseen force. I don't like it. I don't like the passive voice, but it works. It's okay. Quit pouting. Maybe if... Creak. Shiloh froze. Someone fell over the top of the picket fence. That was staring me in the face the whole time. I should have read it out loud before doing the character thing. Someone fell over the, even more than that. So maybe that gives me the ability to put, the themselves, knocked. Well, but it's either they knocked themselves over or they were knocked over by an unseen force, so I guess I need to keep it. Okay, someone fell over the picket fence. Ow, she muttered. Are you okay? She smiled. Oh, hi, Shiloh. He squinted. I'm sorry, who are you? Maddie? Maddie Meridian? We have social studies together? Oh, right. She was the only one in class who hadn't laughed at him. Wasn't your hair lighter? Yeah. She ran a hand through her now pitch black curls. My pen exploded. A pen did that? Well, it wouldn't wash out, so She looked at her now ink-stained hand. Finished the job. So, what you doing? Nothing. Sounded like you were talking to someone. I wasn't. He blushed. Was it a ghost? I might put... Was it a ghost? If I had the words, or if I had the characters, I would say she leaned forward. She leaned forward. Was it a ghost? Or she leaned forward and whispered. Shiloh's face turned a new shade of red. Tell me, please. Maddie flushed puppy eyes. I'm curious, not mean. Promise you won't laugh? Shiloh bleated. Maddie nodded, grinning. My grandpa. He looked away. We usually play chess. In fact, I think I'm going to add the just back in there. I think I have 4 characters. Shiloh reset the board. Watch this. He moved a black pawn, then clarified, your move. Wait, can I do something first? That sounds like it needs a dialogue tag, because that could sound like it's the grandpa talking. I don't know if I have those characters available. Sure. She ran her hands through her hair, then rubbed them. Oh, no. She ran her hands through her hair, then rubbed down the white pieces. It's a little clunky, but still works. An opposing pawn crept forward. Shiloh mirrored the move. A white rook leapt over the pawns. Whoa. Show me your hands. What? You couldn't touch those pieces without ink rubbing off. You don't believe me. He scowled a little. No, I believe you. Questioning everything doesn't mean accepting nothing. I just like being thorough. Shiloh's clean hands raised. Maddie giggled. Was that so hard? And Shiloh flashed a weak smile. Shiloh started cleaning up. It's getting late. My parents are probably worried about me. Yours too. Nah, not my dad, she chuckled. Shiloh looked at Maddie. Thank you for not teasing me. Maddie nodded. Let's see. I had to add some stuff back in. Let's have you check it one more time. Okay, how's that looking? He's been good. He's been sleeping most of the time. How's the surgery, says Norman? Did you have to pop out and come back in? Well, I'm about to go, but we're just figuring out if I did it. 6 over. Welcome to the ping pong. Yep. I mean, that happens to me all the time with the words, for sure. So I'm not surprised that happens with the characters. Okay, let's try and knock 6 off. I guess I could just say the king moved again. Like, he moves it just doesn't work. So, I think... Yeah, that's 6. So, that'll work. With character count, I'm always checking the ends of sentences. Sometimes spaces get added in the formatting. Yes, we did do that for sure. Yeah, so I think that'll work. Okay, so this is my actual final cut, edited version to add to the doc for Lee to check out. Okay. All right. Wow. So I haven't really timed myself to know how long this takes, but now I am learning. It took 2 hours and 30 minutes about to do 2 stories. One of them being 409 and the other being 888. I'm glad we got to do 2, and I'm glad we got to do one that was closer to the limit, and then one that was the longest one we had. So I think that was a good. I think those are some good choices, and it's pretty much exactly the right time. So yeah, do you guys have any other questions? Anything else you want to quick discuss before I gotta go? Was this helpful? Did you like getting to see my process? I know I wasn't really talking about it much, and so that is why I wanted to stream me doing it as opposed to me like already having done it and trying to talk about it, because it'd be so much like I could still do it, but it would be much harder to talk about the changes than to just have you see me doing it. But that doesn't always answer why I make certain changes, and so I don't know if it would be more helpful if I talked more, or if it was helpful to just see me doing it in and of itself. But I hope that it was. We could try this again if you guys would like to do it another time. But yeah, it's just supposed to be a little helpful resource for people who struggle with the word and character limits, to hopefully give you some tools for how you could do that if you haven't considered some of the things that I talked about. One thing is that because of the way Discord calculates characters, each new line counts as 2, which might be something that writers should keep in mind. Yeah, that's very fair. Very fair. I have been thinking about something, and this is making me think about it even more. Because I know that a lot of you hit the character count a lot, and I know that it is a big struggle, and especially, like, I do have to deal with it with the prompt intro, but that's a little different from a story. So I am definitely seeing, as I'm editing it, that it is a huge hassle, and so I've kind of been considering letting you guys go into the first comment so that you don't have to deal with that. Just making that decision, knowing that I might change that in the future. Because basically what the question is that, is it more hassle for you guys for each individual writer to have to deal with the character limit versus me having to copy down 8 stories and then having to do more work copying them down because I have to go into the first comment and grab the rest of the story. And it also doesn't look as good to have it be in the first comment, and so it just aesthetically, like, is kind of to do that. But I know that it is a big deal for a lot of writers, and like I said, I have now seen that in action and actually trying to do that. So I don't know, I guess it would just be like, would that be a massive boon? Would you be like, yes, please, thank you, let me put it in the first comment? Or is it like, I don't know that it would be that helpful. I would rather have it in one post. I'll keep editing it in the character count because I want it in one post. Like, what would your response be to me potentially letting you do that, with the caveat that I might change it later if it's too much hassle for me copying the stories down? I'll give the kitty a pet while you're thinking about it.
Hello, kitty. Oh, yes. You're so cute. Love you so much. I do. purring.
Maybe we could do like a special week to test this out, where the word limit is raised to 100 or so, and see how much of a hassle it is. I'm confused. Because this isn't about the word limit, this is about the character limit. And if not, the word limit would be lowered, and it would be much harder to make your stories 100 words. And even edited, I don't think they're 100 words. Yeah, it's 320. So do you mean, like, I don't really know what you mean there. I've gotten used to editing it down to 200 characters, but I think that should be put to the community. That's fair. Oh, you also said for the spaces, it's especially important for dialogue stories. Yeah, for sure.
For sure, right, kitty? For sure. Look at you and your little paws. Oh, you're so cute.
Well, I know, like, everyone writes a longer story so that everyone has a comment below, and we see how much extra work it is to copy that over. You mean, like, let people do 450? I'm not really sure. I don't really feel like that's necessary. That feels like more hassle to me. Like, I feel like I'd much rather just say, hey, for one special week, if you go over the character limit, you can go into the comment. And because that's going to be, you know, enough hassle of its own without having to deal with, okay, now they're 100 words longer, which probably means I'm going to be doing less stories in the stream, and stuff like that. Like simulating a worst case scenario. I mean, it would do that, but people, yeah, like I think if I am going to experiment with this, I would rather experiment with what's already there, what, like, the naturals of what you deal with. They would also tell me how many people deal with it, you know, if it's the majority, if it's half, if it's less than half, you know, and then I can just see from the natural the natural selection, from the natural way of things, of what goes over and what doesn't.
Yeah, I'm almost done.
Mark says, question, one thing I've noticed is after it's posted, I can sometimes edit the post and make it over the character limit. Does that happen with anyone else? Ooh, that's interesting. That could be great if that's a loophole around that. Yeah, I've never tried either.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. Right, kitty?
What's the move? That's interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah, you said it too.
Kitty. Hi, boo. Say hello. Say hello to the people. Oh, you're purring. Can you hear him purring? Little kitty ASMR for you. So much purring. Yeah, you can hear.
Well, I hope that you guys have had a good time. I'll contemplate the... Oh yeah, that's purring. Yeah. I will contemplate what to do, you know, about the character testing thingamajig. But I hope you've had a good time. I hope this is helpful. And I will see you guys next time I see you. I don't know if that'll be tonight or tomorrow or what. Nico says, I think it's just letting people go into a second post as long as they're still at 350 or less is fine if you want to give it a shot. I don't know if it'll work out as well. I don't know if it'll work out well. Yeah, that is the question, right? But it does seem to really bother quite a few people, and so it might be worth trying just to see, like, because if I find, oh, hey, it's really not that big a deal for me, then if it is a big deal for them, then that might be worth it. But it also could ensue chaos, so I don't really know. Like anyways,
Oh, yes.
I hope that you guys have had a good time. You can like tag me if you have any other questions, or if you're watching in the VOD and you have something you want to ask, you can tag me in the Discord and stuff like that. But yes, hope you've had a good time. I have had a good time. Hope it was helpful. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Sounded like a ribbit. Bye-bye.